eventually we brick. We see 3 lands and unburial rights, which isn't the worst thing ever, but it's not super good. We get back Makeshift Mauler, which doesn't turn out to be particularly relevant. I think he answers it somehow. Uh, his attack here is interesting. Rather than leave the fox in play, he decides that he has a better chance in the air, and that he's would rather crack in with that. So I choose to block with my spirit because at the time it's just a 0/1. It forces his hand. It forces him to sacrifice the fox to trade this to take off the sensory deprivation. And it also saves me 3 life. Like at this time, his Geist here has hit me so low. I think it's done me the full 14 points of damage to knock me to 6 life. This game has gone on like excruciatingly long, and if I take this full 5 here, I would drop to 1, and then like any hit from anything is lethal, and I definitely do not want that. I want another turn. I'm still trying to set up all of those cards that I've been mentioning. Still need to be relevant. The Feeling of Dread, the Silent Departure. For me to win this game, those cards have to do something. And if I die, they don't do anything, clearly. So, step 1, stay alive. Step 2, win the game. I'm staying alive. Uh, it's worthy to note that it's not correct to chump both creatures yet, because I'm still at 4. I can still take 1 more hit. And this game is so tight that I can't really afford to throw away an extra 0/1 spirit token. It's just not something I can do. Alright, so we draw Moorland Haunt, which we're pretty excited about. We've got like 2 creatures in the graveyard. He did answer the Makeshift Mauler, he bonds it. Which we're actually very happy with. Like, I don't know what he was... well, I suppose that made sense because of what's in my graveyard. Like, if he didn't bonds it, then it gives me the opportunity of, like, Feeling of Dread, Silent Departure, and then just lethaling him. So he had to pacifism the Mauler. That's acceptable. However, now his flyers are tapped, and for the first time all game, our Moon Heron can attack in naturally because he doesn't have a 0/3. That kind of makes me wonder if I should have sensory deprived the Gallows Warden in the first place, because we ended up drawing Chumpers and Tappers. The Tapper got tapped, of course, but we ended up drawing ways of stalling out the game, which might have, and then we would have been trading damage, which, even though we would have been losing the race, might have let us Feeling of Dreads out a win much earlier. But that's very difficult to figure out on the fly, for sure. If any of you have seen a better line in this game, then please mention it. I draw Moorland Haunt, which, as I mentioned, I'm pretty excited about. I can make some more 0/1 flyers. Yay! And I think we just crack in for a few. Yep. We on Burial Rights, getting back a Geist. Yep. I think that had we animated Geist first and then the Mauler, we might have lost this game. But you'll see as it plays out. So I crack in for 2. Very relevant. Here I decide it's the final turn. He only has 2 cards in hand. We both have a pile of lands in play. I did the math, and I redid the math, and I figured that if he did not play a flyer this turn, it was my turn to just go for it. I'm at 4 life. I can't, like, chump him forever. Like, I'm not going to win that way. I'm going to give him more time to draw into cards that kill me. I know that he has a Village Bellringers somewhere in his last 18 cards, and that card is just going to blow me out because we're both attacking with dinky flyers, only his flyers have much larger toughness. And attack power thanks to his Wide Sky Scarecrow, but that's neither here nor there. So anyway, I'm looking at this, and I also realized that I lose to a Rebuke if I go all in now, but I can't really play around that either. I know there was one other Rebuke in the draft. I saw it early in Pack 1, and there were 2 other white drafters, and so it ended up in one of their decks, or someone else thought they were white and cacked it. So there's like a little under 50%. There's probably like a 40% chance that there's a rebuke somewhere in his deck. Um, and we know that there's a Village Bellringers, and he has two cards in hand. Those cards could be anything, but at this point we're at just such a low life that we can't dick around anymore. So we recount, we end up deciding we're going to go for it. Blocking here with the Doom Traveler doesn't change our math. We're still getting a point through. We draw a Rebuke. It's pretty worthless now. Like it's... Yeah. Actually, now that I look at it again, well, yeah, it's worthless, not because, he would kill us on the swing back, but it's worthless because if he has a Rebuke or a Villagers, he can just, um, like, say, eat the Moon Heron, and then replay his Scarecrow, and we're back to being in a situation where we can't do anything. The deck doesn't have any actual removal in it. It's all pseudo removal, like the tap and the bounce spell. So the rebuke, like even though it would keep us from dying on the crackback, doesn't help us win the game. The only card left in our library that would is the noble I mentioned earlier, and there's only 9 cards, so we would have gotten there eventually. But anyway, the exciting thing was he did not have either of those 2 cards I was stressing out about, and the 8 points lethaled him exactly in one of the tightest games I've ever played. Yeah, I hope that wasn't too boring for any of you. Like I said, like there's 9 cards left in my library and 18 in his. The game was pretty excruciating. Went to turn 15, very tight. I ended at 4 life. A lot of dicking around, a lot of interaction. Neither of us really flooded more so than the other. Um, so yeah, maybe I won just because I got to flashback I think twice, and he did not. Thanks for watching. Uh, I'll see how this one turns out, and if I like it, I will also do the second game of this match, because it's interesting. I think I more so outdrew him than outplayed him, but it's interesting. In this game, I don't think I just stone outdrew him, because there were a multitude of lines that just stone lost the game throughout. Um, and I didn't play any of those. Alright.